you seen that replay, buddy?
All right, man, I'm done talking to you.
You can't be done talking to me. You're right here facing me.
I back. Trust me, I back.
Damon! 60 G's, baby!
But I'm not impressed by your performance.
It's normal. Come on, guys. It's normal.
You'll do nothing. You'll do nothing.
I'm the man of the hour, Joe. Too sweet to be sour. What you see is what you get, and what you don't is better yet. I'm the women's pick. I'm the men's regret. And if you win against Chael Sonnen, you made a bad bet.
I don't have much left to say other than you have seen nothing yet.
What's happening, Fight Week Show fans, Fight Week Show people? Them we are back with another episode, and this episode is a special one because I got my boy Big Muddy, aka Baldy Gladiator, in the house. How you doing, Big Muddy? You good?
Mate, I'm doing really well, thank you. And as always, it's an absolute pleasure talking to you. Always love seeing your faces. So yeah, ready to get into it, man.
Yeah, man. Salute to my boy Olin. Olin is here with us tonight from MMANomaly. Make sure you're showing love as you start rolling in live. We're dropping a live show, bonus live show with you today, man. We got Big Muddy in the house, and we got some conversations to have with him. First of all, big congrats on your last win against the Bear Jew, Paul Craig. Going into that fight, like, what was the feeling? How did you feel going into it? You know what I mean? What was the camp like? All of that stuff. Tell the people them.
I'll give you the full rundown, mate.
Let's hear it.
Honestly, camp couldn't have gone any better. Obviously, I had absolutely amazing training up with the guys at Tom Aspinall's gym. Tom was just starting his camp, preparing obviously for Cyril Gane, and Ante, my teammate, who had an absolutely spectacular victory himself on the card, was also preparing. So the whole team was going into war together. Do you know what I mean? We all had our axes and our swords ready to go and conquer, and that we did. You know, we had a really good night in Paris for the team. It was just really good vibes and amazing spirit the whole time. I had some really close people with me. The venue was amazing. The crowd was amazing. The hotel was great. Literally, you walk like 2 minutes down the road, and there was like this place that looked almost identical to Bicester Village. Like, it was literally just like a run through of loads of shops and nice coffee shops, restaurants, like, you know, all sorts of good things. It's just like, do you know what I mean? It was sunny the whole week. So literally it couldn't have went better from start to finish. I had a really good mindset going into the fight. My preparation was obviously second to none. You know, obviously my dad leading the charge of everything, and like I say, training up with Tom.
Shout out Papa Gintas.
Yeah, 100%. The man, the general, always on smoke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
man.
helping me to get better. Obviously, I had James Webb, Sebastian Heil, and I also had a guy called Marcus Paul that was helping me as well. There's a lot of fine tuning and tweaking, especially in the last couple of weeks, which is what ultimately led to me getting the finish on the night. So yeah, just collectively, the preparation was amazing. I was in a really good mindset. I was just really happy all the time. I was in a flow state, and yeah, it meant that I was able to get the job done. So yeah, I literally. That camp was definitely one of those where I can't complain about everything. Everything was just gearing up towards fight night. I was also eating a lot more. I was so light. Like, you guys have no idea. I literally woke up on the morning. Feel free to check out the YouTube. I have a video of Fight Week. My boy Ben, he actually lives in France. I gave him one of my tickets so that he could watch. That was his first ever UFC event live. So I was very happy that he was able to experience that.
Love an event to get to go to.
Yeah, I know, especially with the crowd, and you know, such an amazing fight card, 11 bloody finishes. Do you know what I mean? Like, almost every fight was a finish. So yeah, obviously I had him with me, and like on the morning of the weigh-ins, I was 208 pounds. I literally went into the bath for 15 minutes. I went on the towels for 10 minutes, and I was already 203. I could drink a little bit of water and made weight at 205. So everything couldn't have gone better. And like I say, it was funny because I even noticed it with my shape now. Like, I went on holiday, and, you know, like, I went back into training afterwards and stuff like this, but you know, I didn't go too crazy with the food or the drink or anything like that, but I just noticed my body's just been clinging, and I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. I ain't complaining that my body's clinging onto the abs you know what I'm saying? But like my body, it seems like it's naturally adjusted to being at a different, like maybe a bit of a lower weight, which makes me a bit faster, a bit leaner. Means I'm not like carrying too much sluggish weight around with me and everything. So yeah, like, and I was eating more calories. This is the mad thing. I was eating like 3,500 to 4,000 calories and dropping weight on that. So everything was just geared towards victory. I knew it from the first day that I was going to go and get the win. Obviously, big shout out to Paul Craig, an absolutely amazing fighter, legend of the sport. But I knew I had to get through him in order to get my crack in the top 15.
Yeah, man, 100%. Olin?
That was a hell of a showing for you, first and foremost. Congratulations on the win. So you mentioned a couple things that kind of pry questions for me, right? You said you felt light throughout the entire camp, right? You felt super light. You felt like you were clinging to the abs, which, you know, usually is probably a weigh-in day thing, right? Or for more often. So let me ask, what do you think was the biggest change in this camp versus previous camps? Because I got to say, from where I'm sitting on my couch watching and you know, cheering you on, I don't think you've ever looked better. And I say that having also said most of the shows where I talk about your fights that you look progressively better every time you make that walk. So
thank you very much, mate. Like honestly, it was genuinely just more calories. Like I was always afraid of like a lot of times, even the strength and conditioning coach from up north, Jamie Acton, he kept on telling me, like, not to say that I looked a bit like flat, but like I didn't, like I looked like quite full up the whole time, and I was still very. I mean, my last sparring session, I was 97 kilos, and that was like 2 weeks before the fight, and that was sparring with Tom and Ante, who were both like, you know, Tom was about 100, maybe 110, 112 kilo, and Ante was about 108. So, you know, and I felt strong and I felt fast. So, you know, those guys are always pushing me to get better. Obviously, it's not easy going against those guys, but I definitely felt like I was. For the last sparring session, I was definitely coming into my own. I had, you know, Andy Aspinall as well was leading the charge with the sparring. So, yeah, I think that the big change in terms of my physique and the way that I was feeling good in training. Like I was, and the more I ate well, the less I wanted to eat crap stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like the more you eat well, you realize, like, hold on a minute, I don't need to have a cheat day because I had more of one meal or something. I just ate naturally, just ate how I felt, and like I say, it just made my body just adjust to probably the extra calories, and obviously because I had the energy in the training session, I was able to put more out in those and burn more energy whilst I was doing those. So I think almost scientifically, without even trying, I was adjusting myself even more. It's just I was in a war mindset, you know, and I think when you're pushing yourself to want to sacrifice a lot, to want to, you know, maybe suffer a little bit more, it just makes you just a little bit more switched on. And also maturity, mate. I'm not a young kid anymore. Like, you know, when I was in my 20s, you know, early 20s, late 20s, you know, the sort of these things you don't play into account. But I've been watching so many things, and you know, if you want to be a champion, you got to live like one now. You know, you got to live like a champion before you're actually the champion. How do you think the champion is living his life? Do you think he's going to be having days where, you know, he's not eating well or doing the wrong things? He's going to be on point, you know, 100% of the time. So that's why I've got to make sure I'm in line with that, because God only prepares you for what you're ready for. You know what I mean? So he's not going to give you stuff when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And it's a conscious decision all the time. And I'm happy that, you know, it gets easier to make the right decision as you do it more often.
Yeah, man. We got a comment here from Zach Dolan. Shout out to everybody that's live with us in the chat right now. Zach Dolan says, huge inspiration of a fighter you are. And though he's loved hearing about how you push through very, very tough times. That's from Zach Dolan.
Thank you very much, Zach. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And obviously, I hope to continue to inspire. You know, like I say, the story is still being written. So long may that continue.
Yeah, man. I got one here from McDean. And he said, you've had 3 fights so far in 2025. Are we going to see you again one more time before the year is out, based on how quickly that fight went? And do you feel like the higher activity that you've had this year has been a reason to your success?
I think
or a component, not a reason, but a component to your success?
Yeah, I think in terms of like having loads of fights, it's bloody great. Do you know what I mean? It's nice getting paid often. You know,
that one guy, man.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, you know what I mean?
Come on, my dog.
It's nice to get that paycheck. And also like I say, just going out of fights uninjured and unscathed. Obviously, I'm always training. I've learned to enjoy the process, and you know, it's mad because. Just to answer your first question, I don't think, unless there's a last-minute pullout within the guys in the top 15, that I'll get a fight this year, just because obviously I can imagine the cards are pretty stacked up. But definitely early next year, I'll probably get back in there. But I'm always training. Do you know what I mean? That's one thing that I've learned to do, is just to enjoy the whole process of training and actually enjoy suffering in a really weird way. You know, and especially now, this is quite different because, like I say, February straight away to May. So you're pretty much going into back-to-back camps pretty much. From May, obviously, to September, once again, going straight back into back-to-back camps. And I was thinking like, oh, I might have a bit of time. And then boom, the call came for another one. And I'm like, oh, okay, looks like we're back into starting day one of training camp. Whereas now it's kind of like, do you know what? I can actually take the time to just work on my whole overall skill set, and I can just learn to improve areas of my game which I think I need working on. And it's the part where you should enjoy it the most, because in camp it gets grueling. And don't get me wrong, I do enjoy the times where it gets really tough, and you know, when you're in really good shape and stuff like this. But also you've got to enjoy the times where things are a little bit slower, and you're actually just going into a session. I haven't got to focus on a specific thing that I need to do for a fight. I can just focus on the specific thing that I want to do for myself. You know what I mean? I can actually focus on something selfishly that I want to improve for myself, and I don't have to gear that towards an opponent. And that is actually, that's a privilege. Do you know what I mean? And I look at that as a privilege. And as a fighter, I can imagine like football players or basketball players, you know, they go seasons back to back and stuff like this. But, you know, in the off season, they're working on things that they want to improve to make them better for the next season. And that's essentially what I get to do now. It's not often you have a time where there's no actual specific focus in front of you. I can just be like, do you know what? I'm going to go to jiu-jitsu today. Do you know what? I'm going to do wrestling as well. I'm going to do some striking. I'm going to work on my strength. I'm going to work on different things that I don't normally get to do. And having an open mind actually to the improvement of my overall martial arts game is going to only make me a better fighter for when I do have a specific focus. So it's, yeah. So like I say, I enjoy this time, but not to say that I'm not ready. So I'll always be ready, you know?
Yeah, man. Oli, you got something?
Yeah, man. You guys mentioned your dad earlier, right? Jintas. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but wasn't he like a Soviet Union no holds barred heavyweight champion?
That's
long
correct.
Before the UFC days were even conceptualized?
He was a bad motherfucker. Back in the days when there was like barely any rules, do you know what I mean? They had freaking no gloves. You had a gi top but shorts, but then like, do you know what I mean? Like all shots were allowed. And,
some guys were wearing shoes. Some guys weren't wearing gloves at all.
Exactly.
Some guys would wear one glove so they'd have a grappling hand. Like, it was wild.
Exactly. And literally, I saw one knockout, old VHS tape. Him just literally grabbing the guy's gi and kneeing him to the chest. And he,
oh my god!
He and it was full power. Like, imagine you're grabbing onto the gi and like
easy grips.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Yeah. So that was nasty. That was nasty. I'm like, I'm kind of lucky I don't have to fight in those days. I mean, as brutal as it is, you know, in this day and age, but in those days, like when
come a long way,
anything goes. Do you know what I mean? So you best believe when I was a kid, he told me to clean my room. I'm cleaning my room. Do you know what I mean? There's no questions.
You don't want to argue with that, man. So yeah, with that being said, like obviously, you know, you fighting is kind of in your blood, I think. And I believe you started training at what, 5-6 years old. So my question is, with your dad having that background, not only that background, but bringing that kind of legacy into the fold, what from your early days of training and kind of your early inspiration from your dad still sticks with you today in your fight game?
So it's just I think the main thing that's a massive inspiration to me is his mindset and overcoming adversity. And his adversity was faced like from the danger of his opponents, and also like in the fight, like he may be getting beat on one area, but is able to overcome that and beat them with a different area. And one thing that he always had is anytime he got hurt, he was always still able to land like the knockout blow to finish the fight. And he would always tell me these stories, and he was just like a natural fighter. You know what I mean? Going to the army and like, you know, kind of learning all the different arts, do you know what I mean? And just like meshing them together, like, you know, very early days of MMA, mixing Sambo with karate and stuff like this. And just, you know, always finding a way to win. These are things that like really inspire me. But mainly, like I say, is his mindset, which I've only just started sort of taking on myself as of recently in my career. I think, and it's just nice, like, do you know what I mean? Having someone that really cares about you and loves you, and like, you know, just he has the utmost confidence in me. Sometimes he has more confidence in me than I have myself, and that's something that I've learned to try and take on a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, because he sees the way I train, he sees the way I do things, and he knows what I can do. So his thing is just like, I know how good my son is. All he needs to do is go. That's why even when I had the injury and stuff like this, he always knew that this was the path that I was going to take. He always knew, like, you're way better than this. Let's freaking show them. Do you know what I mean? So to have that guy in your corner is honestly, it's like a cheat code. And also, I got to give him a massive credit, because anytime I've had a finish, it's always him that's calling for it. Like literally, when I had Marcin Wojciech ages ago on Cage Warriors, who do you think was shouting spinning back kick? My dad. Literally had his hands up. He's like, spinning back kick. Threw it.
You can see it before you see it.
Yeah, 100%.
That's that fight IQ, man. That stuff never goes away, and it just constantly gets. If you stay around the game, it just gets better with age.
Mate, finishing instincts. I'll give you that. That's another like massive thing that he has that I'm slowly starting to take on myself, is the finishing instincts. Every time there's a finish, he always a smell. He's like a shark in the water. You know what I mean? And it's just so lucky that I have that guy in my corner, like telling me anytime. Even Sakara fight, the left hook's gonna land. Do you know, pressure him, the left hook. Marcin Prachnio, pressure him. You're gonna land the right. I land the right. So
your left hook and your right straight are money every single fight, man. I gotta say.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, mate.
Like nasty work every time.
And we work on that a lot. So you know, and even for this last fight, you know, who do you think was shouting finish him and elbow? Funny enough, both him and James Webb as well. I've got to give credit to James Webb, because all the stuff that I was doing with him in fight week really paid off to stay comfortable in the guy's guard. And like I said, when Dad shouted finish him, James was also shouting finish him. And you know what? It was quite reminiscent of when I was cornering James for his title fight against Andy Clamp. And literally, me and the whole corner were shouting, keep going, you're going to finish him. And it was exactly the same. It was like literally 1-to-1 with my fight in Paris. So, yeah, like I say, my dad, in terms of finishing instincts, that's another big thing that he brings to the table. And I'm glad I have him in my corner. And I'm glad that he's got a very loud voice and I can hear it every single time.
Yeah, man. We got a question here from Grimy before I go to my next question here for you, Big Muddy. And this is one that I've asked you before, back in the day when me and you were still coming off your situations and shit. And you said it back then that if the path allows you, man, to cross again, you will entertain him. Man said if Khalil loses to Yuri, would Modestas like to run that one back? Because I would like to see it for sure. Anyone else who'd like to fight? Appreciate it. So yeah, anyone else you'd like to fight apart from Khalil? Khalil.
I know 100% my next fight is going to be top 15. I know that for a fact. So, I mean, obviously you're looking at guys like Zhang Mingyang, you got Alonzo Menefield, Nikita Krylov. Those guys are respectively 13, 14, 15, or the other way around. So, you know, any one of those guys to have my crack at the top 15, 100%. I'm just taking it fight by fight, but 100%. I mean, they had interviews in Paris for me asking me if I want that one back. And if there's any fight that I want back, that is the one I want back. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, Lord, mercy.
Obviously, you know, he's been having an absolute tear. He's coming into his own. He had his own resurgence. And you know, ultimately, what happened in that fight is what made me who I am today. So as thankful as I am for that, I also want to get my revenge, you know. So you know, obviously he's done an incredible job, but that is a fight that I would like to happen quite soon. And you know, depending on what happens in that fight, and like I say, I get a top 15 matchup, you know, that's what I'm going to be calling for. So yeah, and that one will be a big fight, and I'm sure it'll be massively entertaining for the fans as well, especially with the backstory behind it.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for that question there, Mr. Grimy. I got a couple of videos here, and then got a follow-up question for you. Yep. So just wanted you to take a couple of take a look at these videos, and then we'll get your take on it. There we go. 1 second. Here we go. Right. So over the weekend, we've seen fighters like Neville Sterling, Jimmy Crute, as we just seen there. I mean, me and Olin done a show yesterday, and it was referencing that finish, that rear naked choke with the blade of the hand there. And I know you've been training with, and I know you've been training with Tom. I know it's a submission. We've seen a submission on your own during your own fight that you put down. But what I wanted to get from to ask you is, number one, can you tell us more about that actual submission that Jimmy Crute just put on that brother? If you've seen it in the gym before, maybe you've implemented it before, how painful it is on who's receiving or who's, or to who's delivering it. And also, follow-up question, at 205, a lot of you guys are starting to utilize grappling and submissions now. It's not all about power though, but you're finding other ways to win. How important is it for you guys to nail down that side of mixed martial arts and start using it to bag them wins as they come along?
Yeah, so to answer the first question, obviously, I mean, listen, if you've ever been face cranked before, if you ever had like someone put the blade of their forearms like right underneath your chin, and especially he had him in the back, he had it flattened out as well, and he was yanking it upwards. I mean,
like a Gable grip, dude.
You know what I mean? Like I say, just even the thought of that should make your toes cold. You know what I mean? So
Thank you. That's literally what I was saying yesterday, dude. Or when we were talking about this show, dude, the way he pushed in with the blade of his wrist, that is, if you've ever felt that, and I know you have, that shit sucks.
Yeah, mate, it's an absolutely nasty finish, and you can be even nastier with it, and you can literally like push it straight across the chin and then drive it up. Do you know what I mean? He had it a little bit underneath the chin from what I saw. But yeah, I mean, either way, it's an absolutely nasty finish. So fair play to Crute on getting the win there. It got very scrambly towards the end and stuff like that. And funny you say to add grappling, like Sterling was grappling with Bellato. He actually took him down. And then Bellato actually managed to get him down as well. But look, if you're not well versed in all your arts, you're going to get exposed. It's just how it is in MMA. And I'm not talking just in MMA, I'm talking in the UFC. If one of your game is lacking, you will get exposed. And it's been seen in a lot of fights at light heavyweight. Where the guys are dangerous strikers, they take him down, they're like a fish out of water, have no idea what the hell to do. So if you don't know what you're doing on the floor, you will get exposed very quickly. Like, if I didn't know what I was doing on the floor against Tyson Pedro, he probably would have finished me in the first round when he took me down. So, the fact that I was training with high-level guys and I knew those situations, like, I was able to get out of that. And even the grappling side, like to the striking with the Paul Craig fight, if I didn't know what I was doing on the floor and I didn't have like the necessary defenses and even like the wherewithal to be able to land the strikes, those things wouldn't happen. So, like I say, you have to be all rounded. I mean, fair play to Pereira on his takedown defense in the first fight as well. If his takedown defense wasn't on point, and you can see his game has developed over time, especially since they had a Sanya fight. So, you have to be a well-versed athlete, but at the same time, you've got to be able to implement your game. There's some grapplers who do it and they still can't stop it. So then there has to be levels to the game in order to be able to prevent those things and to be able to land your best attributes. But ultimately, you should be working towards where you're the best and implementing that against your opponent. So the game's crazy. There's so much to learn. But yeah, 100%. If you can't grapple, you're going to get exposed.
Yeah, man. We got to the halfway point, and I just killed my boy Olin right there. This is where we celebrate Big Muddy's win against Beardew, Paul Craig, and we're going to celebrate. Dash a shot for you, my brother. You know what I mean? Salute to you, bro. Salute.
Cheers, brother.
Down the hatch, brother. Like I couldn't tell you how gassed I was just watching you do your thing, bro. Like, I don't know, but I could almost have your number one fan. Like, bro, every time you're out there doing your thing, it's a wildness for me, bro. Like, my whole yard's quiet. Nobody can talk around me. Nobody can say a goddamn thing until that fight done. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. Even when I'm watching live stream and you're fighting, this is me the whole time.
It really be like that, man.
This, bro, that's me the whole time, bro. The whole time.
This last fight was the most comfortable I felt watching one of your fights, because it was just like the way that you looked in there. Again, like I say this time and time again when I talk about you. You've gotten progressively better every time you make the walk. Like, even when you haven't gotten the win, you've still looked better inside of the octagon. But this last time, you look like a different guy, man. Like, the evolution was on full display.
Oh, I appreciate that. And sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to say as well that, like, although, like, you know, I've obviously had a bit of time to sit down, watch the fight, be a little bit self-critical, and obviously in terms of improvement, you know what you want to work on and do certain things. And yeah, I looked at the finish and I looked at the way that I handled the stuff on the floor. I was very happy with that, you know, because obviously he tried to throw a flying triangle. I stopped that. Then he tried to do all sorts of different trips and stuff like this. And all the work that I've been doing, especially in like the weeks leading up to that, meant that I was not fearful whatsoever. One thing I could have done a little bit better though, but obviously you're fighting a style where the guy wants to keep it at range and he's trying to stay a little bit further away from you. Probably should have feinted a little bit more and use that to set up my striking as opposed to sort of launching myself in. And then, but it's only because I didn't feel a threat from the punches. So I kind of just like let myself go into that. And then when I did get into the exchange, you know, we were working so much on obviously negating the clinch because that's where he's the best. But why didn't I just go and take him down? Because then inevitably the similar things would have happened earlier on in the fight. When I got into that first clinch, I should have went for a trip takedown and, you know, and just went with it instead of thinking, oh no, I shouldn't be here. I should have thought, nah, like I can be here. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, there's a couple of things that obviously I knew from a progressive, you know, improvement standpoint I need to do. But yeah, ultimately to get the finish on the floor where that man is best, like obviously it felt good. But I just know that there's a lot more in the tank. There's more that I can do, and that you haven't seen the best Baltic Gladiator yet, which should be scary for everyone. And I'm looking forward to go and put that on show. And as the time goes on, as I'm training more with Tom and his team, you know, I can only get better. So this is just like very, very good times. Like leading into the future, we are in a good place.
Everything is about timing, bro. Everything is about timing, and I'm a firm believer in when your time is right, you will get what's yours. You know what I mean? I know that for a fact. When your time is right, you'll get what's yours, and that title is going to be right there, man. When you make that walk up there, man, we're going to be right here with you. We're going to be riding. We're going to be riding that train with you, bro. You know what I mean?
I freaking love you guys. You guys are like my biggest supporters and like really good friends, and I really appreciate you guys all the time. Obviously, getting me on and chatting. It's always great chatting to you guys. There's one thing I wanted to say actually to add to your point, which is something that actually again I mentioned on my YouTube channel on the fight week video, but it's something about, you know, God only presents things to you when you're ready for them. Do you know what I'm saying? He's not going to do it when you're not ready. Like all the things that I've been visualizing and wanting, I wasn't ready for that in my first UFC run. So my God had to teach me the lessons in order to move forward, to be able to prepare me for what all I realize now is all that happened before was just preparing me for what's to come, what is happening right now. Do you know what I mean? It's making sure that I go through the appropriate changes in order to make sure that I can go and achieve the things that is ultimately on my path. So like you said, the time is now, and every fight I learn more, I add more things, I become even more disciplined. You know, the maturity is there. So, you know, like you said, when the time is right, things will happen for you. I wasn't ready for it before. As much as I thought I was ready, I wasn't, but now I am. So now it's all about just building on that, staying disciplined, and yeah, just literally taking each fight as they come and just keep racking up the amazing performances.
If only people know, you know, the hole you were in, how bad things were for you in those dark times, in those dark moments, for you to come back to the light and and operate the way you've been operating, it's a joy. It's a joy to watch, man. And people only need to go and study your journey, and even the people that's been around you. You got some of the best people, you know, around you. The work that you've done over there at BST, we know all about it coming up. Went back to Cage Warriors, did your thing over there, got back to call. Everything was just timing, step by step to where you're at now. Looking to breaking into the rankings and looking for top flight opponents. Bro, I can't be any more proud. I'm saying it right now, man. And you know this is real. This ain't no, you know what I mean, like on some fucking crazy fake shit. Like this is on real shit. We talk all the time.
Oh mate, 100%. Like I say, you're one of the real ones, man. And like I say, I love you guys. Like, if it wasn't for you guys, like always keeping me in check and always supporting, like I say, this whole journey wouldn't be as amazing as it is. And that's what I felt during Fight Week as well in Paris, was that I just felt so grateful for all the people that I had around me, and it's all the same. Do you know what I mean? It's just the same people, but that's the people that I love, and that, you know, we come up together. Do you know what I mean? We're all here for the same goal and for the same ultimate prize at the end. And you know, I just feel like everyone's getting an amazing experience together, and that's why I just felt very grateful during Fight Week. And I think that ultimately led to me being quite calm in there, was because, like I say, just the vibes were very high during Fight Week and during the whole of Fight Camp. So mate, we just got to keep these good vibes going, eh?
I love it. We got a statement here, comment here from Pro Catch. This is for you.
I was gonna
Muddy.
say we got to pull up that Pro Catch comment.
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? This is for you, Muddy, man. And he said, my grandmother was first generation Lithuanian immigrant. Thank you for representing Lithuania. We'll always be cheering for you, brother.
Oh, big love, mate. Honestly, really appreciate that. Like I say, massive Lithuanian heritage for me. I was actually born there. I've still got a Lithuanian passport.
Oh, goddamn. Let's go.
I mean?
Let's go.
You know what I mean? So proper, true full blood Lithuanian here. Obviously.
So you're going to be the first Lithuanian male champ, right? Because Rose was the first female.
100%.
Let's get it,
lined up, man.
Let's go.
Come on. Let's go.
Yeah, man. And obviously, I massively represent the UK as well, because essentially, like, my whole of my school life and like most of my upbringing was here as well. And obviously, by the accent, everyone can already tell. But yeah, now I rep both sides massively. You know, I always stick massively. To my roots and everything. I'm very patriotic to my roots, but I'm also understanding that I rep the country that bred me as well. So like I say, it's amazing to have both nations behind me.
Yeah, man. Olin, do you have one more for Muddy B before we switch gears to a couple more videos that we got that I want to get his takes on? And this is about 2:05, but I need to hear one more from you, Olin, before we switch gears.
Yeah, I got a fun question. Before I ask the question though, I just got to add one thing to the kind of response that you gave to that last one, Modi B. You guys did a lot of talking about kind of, you know, timing is everything, and God doesn't give you things until He knows that you're ready to accept them or you're ready for them, right? I'm a firm believer that God doesn't bless the people who aren't deserving of being blessed, and that the only reason that He sees you're ready for those things, those blessings to come into your life, those timing moments, you know, the stars align kind of situations to come into your life, is when He's looking down, seeing that you're working your freaking ass off to gain those things. And I just want to say, like, don't ever take it as a grain of salt. Like, we see the videos you post, and we know there's a ton of hours that we don't see of you putting blood, sweat, and tears into the gym, eating knees and wearing gis and doing everything you need to do to check all the boxes, man. And I just want to say, like, big ups to you. Like, it shows whenever you make that walk.
I really appreciate it. I really appreciate that, mate. Like I say, it's funny. The ones who are successful are the ones who take the signs. Like there's many signs as you need to be doing that, or you need to be doing this, and it's just things that like ring in your head constantly. And that's the sign.
Listen though.
You know what I mean? You got to listen to it. If you're not listening to it, and you think, nah, I can slack off here, or I don't need to do this here, or whatever. And actually taking. Like, some people look at it and think I'm crazy, think I'm some sort of psycho, like thinking, oh, like, what? How is he getting the, like, almost thinking like, oh, he just fought this up out of nowhere. But I'm like, no, like, I felt like it was something calling from me from the universe. So, and do you know what I mean? And that's why I take it in, and I'm like, I fully believe in it. And then that's what that's what helps me with my training. That's what helped me with my lifestyle. And ultimately that helps me with my performances. So yeah, just grateful for it all.
I love that, man.
Yeah, man.
And the question here is, last one from me before we jump into these videos. Ola's got prepared. What is the one non-negotiable ritual or mental trick, like a song you have to listen to when you're warming up, or a fight scene from an old Rocky movie or something? Like, what is the one thing that you have to do?
Blood.
Like, what's the one thing you have to do either right before the fight or you know, fight week to get you really like locked in and in that right mind state?
Do you know what it is? It's about being present and in the moment, and going with what is given to you at that time. Like, for example, each fight, I used to think I have to listen to the same song, or I have to listen to, you know, like you said, almost like a ritual. But ultimately, each fight presents a different path that you have to take, or a different sort of energy that you need to go into the fight with. Like, for the longest time, it was all about, you know, being aggressive and like having like the red lightsaber mentality and stuff like this. But actually in this fight, it was all about flow state. It was all about
green lightsaber, baby.
Yeah, 100%. 100%, mate. Freaking purple lightsaber. We've got the best of both, mate.
Oh, let's go. Samuel L. Jackson, big Mace Windu fan. Let's go.
Got their Mace Windu vibes going on, man. Yeah. So it's almost like you got to go with what's presented to you. Like, for example, for this fight, that I knew that, so there was a song that my girlfriend was playing to me in the car, and she was saying like it's very like emotional and like a passionate sort of song. And I listened to it and I was like, this is the kind of vibes and the tunes that I need to be going with into my next fight. And I told her I'm going to be listening to this before I go into my fight. And I listened to that exact song, and it just got me in like this really good mind frame. Listen, there's a time for playing the Blade techno track. Do you know what I mean? There's a time and a place for that. You know.
Did you just say the Blade techno track, dude?
Mate, I listened to that.
I love that you just referenced that.
Mate, I was literally listening to that tune before the Master Pragnio fight.
Whoa, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
You can't kill me,
bro.
Yeah,
I'm watching Blade after this.
Oh, mate, yeah. So you know, I feel like every fight presents something different for you to take on and to experience and to enjoy. Ultimately, if your preparation's been the best that you can do it, it's going to present something different to you every single time. And like I say, every fight there's something different, or something on the next level that you endure, or you go through, or you know, like there's certain things that you do the same in terms of how you drill and blah blah blah, but in terms of all those things like the music and the rituals and stuff like this, it changes every fight. And I know if it feels right at the time, I will do it. It's not about thinking and pre-planning it beforehand. It's almost like taking it in as it is. And that's what created such a flow state for me in the fight, was by being in a flow state throughout the whole week and even on fight day itself. So I'll definitely be taking that forward in future fights.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love that. You know what they say? If it looks good, you'll see it. If it sounds good, you'll hear it. But if it's real, you'll feel it, right?
100%. Oh, I love that. I love that.
Hey, like the fact that you mentioned listening to like soft or emotional music, like got you in a better mind state, literally made me think. And I was like, you know what? I actually think I had way better sparring days when I listened to fucking Fleetwood Mac than when I listened to Metallica rolling up to AK back in the day. So that tracks.
For real. I mean, you might are talking about a whole kind of different journey that I don't even believe. Like, I'm a fish out of water listening to this techno dance and all these kind of crazy journals you man are talking about, man. You know what I mean?
I needs to watch Blade after this too.
I also know my man love talking the hardest. You know what I mean? When you hear, look what the car dragged in and them kind of tune there. You know what I mean? Yeah, my man knows exactly what I'll be talking about, man. So. Yeah, man, salute to you, man. And we got S-Dogs MMA talk up in here. It's like Big Muddy, my dog. Hey, he says, why did you do that to Paul Craig? That's Paul Craig's biggest fan, by the way.
You gotta read it right, bro. Why did you do that to Paul Craig?
Paul Craig!
That was a good accent, brother. I would expect that to be from the British man,
but you should hear when he says it. You should hear when he fucking says it. It's a madness. It's a madness. But yeah, shout out to Sterling, man. Shout out to Sterling. I need to show you these videos before we get out of here. And this is from your teammates.
Tom Aspinall gives his predictions for UFC 320. He believes Magomed Ankalaev will defeat Alex Pereira once again.
I'm Tom Aspinall, and these are my UFC 320 predictions.
Abbas Magomedov versus Joe Pyfer.
Joel Pyfer by knockout.
Josh Emmett versus Yusuf Zalal.
Josh Emmett by knockout.
Yuri Prochazka versus Khalil Roundtree Jr.
Oof, it's a tough one to call. I would say Yuri by decision.
Merab Dvalishvili versus Corey Sandhagen.
Don't want to pick against my guy Corey Sandhagen because I think he's very good, but I think Merab is unstoppable right now.
Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira.
Tough fight, but I think Ankalaev's going to do it again.
So, my question to you is, what's your take on your teammates with them picks, especially saying Pereira is going to lose again and Khalil's going to lose?
Yeah. So it's funny because I actually agree with him on all of them.
Ooh.
I'm literally.
Tell us more. We're listening.
I'm literally feeling the same vibes as Tom there. You know, with the main event, I just feel like Ankalaev's overall skill set is just gonna be too much for Pereira. I mean, look, obviously, you know, the first fight went the way that it did, but the mix between the grappling, between the southpaw stance, between the, you know, Ankalaev just having no fear and like landing those good shots, and then for Pereira not to be able to land his big shots. I understand Pereira's going to be training and stuff like this, but I do see if both of them are leveling up, you know, I think with Ankalaev's confidence, especially going into this fight, and confidence in his own abilities and the threats that he poses from that southpaw, from the grappling side, I think it's just, in my opinion, the same thing's going to happen. Obviously, with Merab, I mean, he's an absolute machine. He's been on an absolute tear, and I don't see anyone beating him. I mean, he literally took down everyone that he's fought, and he's literally just been messing around. It seems like the whole time, like, you know, full of energy.
He kissed Sean O'Malley's back 6 times.
Yeah, I know.
During the middle of a fight, dog.
He's crazy, man. But how good is your cardio to be messing around like that? Do you know what I'm saying?
He's clowning people like Ben Askren was in Bellator, bro. Like, I remember Ben Askren riding a Brazilian fighter's back and doing this. Like, he's doing that kind of stuff. Like, it's silly how bad he beats people.
Confidence keeps him calm as well. You know what I mean? And that's what probably gives him an edge in the cardio aspect. And then obviously you got the Khalil and Yuri fight, and you know, both are great fighters. Obviously Khalil's a very experienced, very dangerous striker, but I feel like when he's put onto his back foot, he's not quite as explosive as he is on his front foot, as we saw in the Pereira fight. And Yuri Prochazka, when he smells blood, he goes for it, and especially when he goes on the front foot, he don't stop. You know, and he's got that crazy head movement as well. And he's just very loose. And I feel like that looseness is going to be the key to him beating Khalil Roundtree. Who else? Joe Pyfer as well. I just feel like, again, he's on a tear, extremely powerful, extremely explosive. I see holes with Abbas that he can expose, and I see him getting the win there. And there's one more fight on there, wasn't there?
Yusuf Zalal?
Yeah, Zalal and who's he fighting again?
He's fighting Josh Emmett. One hand knockout power.
Yeah, that's it.
But he's going to be chasing a man on a bicycle for the entire fight. So tough stuff.
In all fairness, like, Zalal's actually been looking really good in his last couple fights. I think that's probably the only one that I disagree on. I think maybe Zalal, you know, maybe it'd be a passing of the torch. Passing of the torch moment. Emmett obviously had a load of incredible fights, but you know, Zalal being younger, you know, more athletic and stuff like that. And I think with his pressure style, I think he'll get that one. So yeah, all of them aside from that one, I agree with Tom on.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I'm with you.
I swear down, somebody did say earlier on that Wonder Boy needs to hang up his fucking nicest Harry's. Yeah,
the NMF belt. He needs to hand it over.
He needs to hand it over to you, Muddy, man. You know?
Oh
You're too nice, bro. You're too nice. Bro.
The NMF belt needs to be coming home to the
Yeah,
UK,
for real. We'll take it, man. We'll take it. The other one that I wanted to show you and get your take on is this one right here. And this one here is from Brendan Schaub and Dean Thomas. You know them very well. Let's go.
Last week, Dean Thomas suggested the UFC trade Magomed Ankalaev to the PFL for undefeated prospect Dakota Decheva. Ankalaev fired back at Dean on X and mocked him for his KO loss to BJ Penn back in 2001. Brendan Schaub agrees with Dean and thinks the UFC would be better off with Dakota Decheva. He adds that Ankalaev is actually hurting the UFC if he beats Alex Pereira again this weekend.
The UFC business model now would make more money off Dakota than it would Magomed. Bar none. Matter of fact, Magomed's actually hurting the UFC. It's tough to say. Because if he goes out and beats Alex, who's a much bigger star than him, it actually hurts the UFC. Now, if you're a purist, you're like, well, the best of the best fight in the UFC, if he wins, he's the champ. I get that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about maximizing money, endorsement deals, TV time, a pretty girl who's very talented, who's a 500 fighter we can get more money out of than this guy from Dagestan who's a beast but isn't good on the mic. His talking's a little dicey. You know, it's just... And he's also so good that the stars you want to be the face of the UFC, he beats. That's an issue. So people will say the UFC has a star problem.
Big Muddy, you've heard what that man there got to say. Are they bugging, or are they bugging, or is there some truth to what they're saying, especially in terms of trading Big Ang for Dakota?
I don't agree with that. I don't agree that they
they're bugging
need to make that they need to make a trade. That's absolutely horrendous in my opinion for them to say that. However, I can understand where they're coming from. Like from a neutral standpoint, you got to try and understand what they're meaning here. And like they said, Dakota in terms of like marketability, probably, you would say has a bit more marketing power than Ankalaev. A lot more people are going to pay attention. She's a very well-spoken English woman, and stuff like that. And there hasn't been quite a star like Ronda Rousey in the UFC. Like there's been great like women fights, but not so much of the star power of Ronda Rousey. So maybe they're thinking on that side that she could be that sort of next person and stuff.
She could be the next Rose.
Yeah, or exactly next Rose Namajunas, who's got like massive star power as well. So I can see from that side where they're coming from, and yeah, most of the time when people are watching TV, it's from American viewership, and a lot of obviously all of America is English speaking. So when it comes to like talking on the mic and stuff like this, like having an English speaking person, like you think like maybe you'll be able to market that more. But I mean. But on the same side, like, Alex Pereira isn't like, he isn't like he doesn't speak English like properly on the mic, and stuff like that. He always has a translator. He speaks, he says Sharma all the time and everyone loves it. Do you know what I mean? Like he's speaking in Portuguese.
Can I just say if like a random American dude just yelled "Let's go" every time he was on the mic, people would be like, "This guy's lame as hell." That's literally what chama means in Portuguese.
Yeah. But I didn't even know that till now.
It just means let's go.
I just say Shama just because he says Shama.
My old lady makes fun of me 3 times a week at bare minimum for yelling let's go.
I need to get my Rosetta sewn on.
That is very
Once a fighter says something for the 30th time, I got to look up what it means. It's the only reason I know what chama means. It's the only reason I know why corners are yelling eso.
And then you try and say it in English, like it doesn't quite hit that.
Not at all, bro.
So, I mean, look, so with that being said, obviously, he's fluent in Portuguese and not fluent in English. He does say a couple of things here and there, but mainly in Portuguese, and he's become a massive star. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Obviously, with the way that he's been finishing people, the way that he's been doing things. Listen, Ankalaev could go on a run, and I'm talking like absolutely obliterate opponent. And the way that he was coming up and like, you know, knocking people out and stuff like this, people were paying attention. So it's like he could still have that star power by like, look, he goes out there and he does an amazing job. Like, you know, people are going to be talking about that. Yeah, you know, stuff on the mic and stuff like this. But if you got to look at the community that he's in and the Russian community, he's a massive star over there. Do you know what I mean? So it just depends which part of the world you're sort of putting that into. Oh, it destroys the star power of the UFC. I don't know. Listen, ultimately, people are there for violence. Do you know what I mean? If you're putting on violence, you're going to have a good show. And for him to beat Pereira for the second time, that's automatically going to give him an increase in star power, and especially if he does it in a dominant fashion. You know, people always talk about how dominant his wins are, you know, and stuff like this. So, you know, from one side, I can see what they're saying in terms of having a marketable sort of English speaking person would, but yeah, in terms of swapping those two, that is silly. But in terms of what they're saying, in terms of star power, you could potentially argue that maybe, one would have more star power than the other. But obviously, it's been seen in the UFC where there's been people who haven't been able to speak English quite as well, and they've still been massive stars just by their performances and just by their demeanor and the way that they go about things and stuff like this. And
we just lost your audio.
I'm so happy you said something because I was like, oh no, is that me?
Sorry, guys. Were you hearing me? Yeah.
No, now we're hearing you. I think you might have had a phone call then that time.
Yeah, my manager was calling me. But it's all good. I'll call him in a second. But which part did I get up to?
No, in terms of, you know, star power and how silly it is to even.
Yeah. So ultimately, I feel like you can make the star power yourself, and by putting on the performances, the UFC are going to push you. And you know, you beat a legend like Pereira twice. That's going to push you anyways. And you know, they've done the countdowns and stuff like this. And you know, you put on the performances, that's going to bring your star power up. So you know, the fact that they're saying one person is going to bring more than the other, you could argue that having you know, an English speaking star would probably be better for an American audience, which is where the UFC comes from. But it doesn't really matter. It comes down to what you're doing in the cage. Like, do you know what I mean? No one would be talking about me if I haven't had 3 finishes out of the last 4. Do you know what I'm saying? So it comes back down to your performances, you know?
Yeah, man,
this is
100%.
very much a sport of what have you done for me lately, not what have you done for me, right?
Yeah,
and
100%.
And I mean, like, if we want to look at it at surface level, sorry, Ola, I'm just going to dive in very quickly because, you know, I'm a stats and data guy being in my sales background. So, like, Alex Pereira, let's just call a spade a spade. He's got 6.5 million followers on Instagram alone compared to the 1.5 million of Magomed Ankalaev. He ranks number 8 amongst all active UFC fighters in total Instagram followers, whereas Magomed Ankalaev is not even in the top 10. However, if you look at their highs from KOs, their highs from highlights, 142,000 views is what Alex Pereira is maxed out at. 26.8 million views is what his opponent got when he beat him at 213. So with all due respect, and I say this, I'll say it again, with all due respect, folks, if you think that Magomed winning is a problem for the UFC, miss me with that bullshit, because that's simply what it is.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm sorry.
I agree with you.
100%.
And Dakota Dacheva has said 3 times, not once, not twice, but 3 times that I've heard on podcasts that she is, and she hasn't said it in these exact words, but she's locked in a contract with PFL. She very much wants to be a UFC fighter. So why the hell would the UFC even think about trading a Russian star for a star from another continent? Like, they're trying to build a star in every single continent. We know this. This is the marketing playbook of the UFC. We've seen it in the last 6 years.
Yeah, that's true.
I couldn't have said it better myself, mate. Literally said it exactly how it is.
Yeah, man. We got a couple more minutes before I get you out of here, and it would be remiss of me if I didn't ask you about how you've been feeling about what Arsenal's been doing this season, especially what happened with them with Newcastle. And you wanted to say something.
So I was actually going to say, I would remember. So I was up at my grandparents' house because I haven't seen them obviously since my fight and everything, and obviously I was just locked in with training. But I remember I was over there and I was watching them play. I think it was Man City.
Yeah,
and they drew in like the last like
the last second.
Yeah, like the last minutes of the of the game, and I was just shouting there on the sofa like, yes, come on Arsenal, pulling it back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like I say, I haven't been keeping up them quite as much.
You've been a busy guy. But what do you expect from what I wanted to ask you is, based on some of the business that we've done this season and the sort of the challenges that we've put in over the last couple seasons, coming second. We've been second 3 times, bro. Like, what do you expect from this team?
It looks like we're going to be there again, my bro. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, you're killing me.
As much as I would love them to take that #1 spot. I mean, come on, Liverpool looking unstoppable at the moment.
Yeah, but you're not wrong.
I mean, they're not even fun to watch. just like,
they just kill it.
It's just disheartening if you like anybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, really and they're racking up the points, bro. They're racking up the points. I'm with you. I'm with you, man. It's going to be tough to even get past Liverpool.
But hey, you guys are going to have a decent season. I think you guys will finish top 10 at the very least.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, top 5 realistically.
Arsenal can definitely finish second if they just, sort of keep going the way that they're going. Do you know what I mean?
Did you just say top 5, Olin?
Yeah.
Brother, hey. My team is Nottingham Forest, okay? I'm just trying to fucking, like, all right, look, my numbers are skewed, all right? Fuck off.
Bro, don't
We just sacked the best coach we've ever had, and we're 17 now. So, like, with all due respect, enjoy your football talk, bro.
Yeah, man.
About a team that's actually doing well.
I would. Yeah, we're talking rich people problems now. Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're talking rich people problems. I mean, we try to win the league, but you said we could be runner up again. You said we could be runner up again. Big Muddy, it's not inconceivable because Liverpool, they're that team and they're the ones to beat. And they're tough to beat right now, man. They're tough to beat.
I mean, we don't know how the season's going to play out. It's obviously early days, but I mean, as long as like Arsenal can keep their heads together and like keep playing good football and like I say, not sort of drop off towards the end of the season.
Which is a normal. It's a usual trick for us, isn't it?
They're in a good place. They just got to keep the momentum going. That's the main thing. But I mean, listen, I think they can do it. So we just got to wait and see how everything unravels.
Bro, I go celebrate that shit with you if you pull it off, bro.
Mate, we got to be having a shot together, bro. If that
happens,
we're taking a shot
let's
together.
go.
All right.
That's not my team, but an excuse to do a shot. I'll do one with you, boys.
Yeah, man. Let's lock that in, man. Let's lock that in. Thank you very much to everybody that's been locked in with us tonight. Salute to you, whether you're watching on live, whether you're watching on playback. Please, I implore you to go and follow Big Muddy B24 on his socials. Always active on there. He's always getting ready for war. He's ready when they call. He's always working. And one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, man. Like, always got time. Always got time for us, man. You know what I mean? You're very, very generous with your time. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. I never take it for granted, my bro. And I appreciate you each and every time, my guy.
Mate, I really love talking to you guys. Like I say, it's always good vibes. It's always a good time. Do you know what I mean? Just the bros chatting, chilling, chopping it up. And I absolutely love it. So thank you so much for having me on again. And I look forward to the next one.
Yeah, man. 100%. And people, up onto the next one. Hasta la vista. We're out. Salute. Big love.
Nice one, lads.
Hey guys, this is John Anik from the UFC. You're watching the Fight Week Show. Please subscribe. Not now, but right now. Subscribe to the Fight Week Show. We'll see you guys on the road soon.